And we are back. Predictions. The final one of the season. This is a series, man, I enjoy so much. And it sucks knowing, this is the final one. Come next season, we'll be back, but next season's so far away. But anyway, starting out, we are going to go in order of the numbers. As you can see in the top left, we have 2 Buffalo, 7 Miami. We're then going to move to the right to Cincinnati, Baltimore, then Jacksonville, Chargers. Then we're going to go diagonally back down to the bottom left for San Francisco, Seattle, and then work our way right until, we finish, and then we'll move on. But here are all 14, I want to say, games. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, there's 13. And, yeah, starting out, Bills, Dolphins. Bills, they're 13-3, the 2 seed. Dolphins, 9-8. They're the 7 seed. I really like this matchup because we saw both these teams play earlier in the season twice because they're, division. In both games, it ended 1-1. Both teams won, both teams lost, 1. And both were a one-score outcome. So I really like this game. But I think the Bills are going to win due to the playoffs experience they've got. And that's just kind of more than the Dolphins. So give me the Bills. Then we have the Bengals, Ravens. Bengals 12-4, 3 seed. Ravens 10-7, 6 seed. We saw these teams play literally a week ago. And the Bengals dominated, but at the same time, Ravens had third-string QB. Last time these teams played this season, besides that game, the Ravens won off of a game-winning field goal. So that gives me a lot of hope that this game, assuming Lamar plays, will be a very good game. Oh, also with the Dolphins game, I'm assuming Tua is going to play as well. But like I said, Bengals, like I said with the Bills, the Bengals, they have the postseason experience. We just saw them make an epic run last season. And Ravens, Lamar, I believe he's won, one playoff game, and he's been there like 3 different times. Not the greatest stat line. Final AFC game, we have the Jaguars, who are 9-8, the 4 seed, and the Chargers, who are 10-7, they're the 5 seed. Jaguars are the higher seed than the Chargers because they won their division. This, in my opinion, has a lot of potential to be the best game out of all of them. These are 2 teams who I think very similar-esque rosters. I feel like both have skill players on all sides. Both have 2 great quarterbacks, some solid running backs. One has great receivers. The other has above average, in my opinion, especially with their depth. Defense, both are great. What it's going to come down to, in my opinion, is the coaches. And in my opinion, I just think the Jaguars have the better coach. So I'm going to take the Jaguars. I think Doug Peterson is way better than Brandon Staley. I think Brandon Staley is a horrible head coach, but he's going to get bailed out because he has a good team. Everyone's going to be like, oh, he's a good coach. And also, Jaguars, they're going to have home field advantage. So with 2 teams very similar, I think the crowd's going to make a big difference. Heading now to the bottom left, we have the 49ers, who are 13-4, the 2 seed. The Seahawks, 9-8, are the 7 seed. The 49ers swept them in the regular season, went 2-0. And I'm going to keep it plain and simple. I think the 49ers are just way better than the Seahawks. I'm going to take the 49ers. And I'm going to just keep it plain and honest. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think this is going to be the one wild card game that is not even going to be close. Next, we have the Vikings, who are the 3 seed at 13-4, and the Giants, who are the 6 seed at 9-7-1. These two teams played earlier in the season. And what are their names? The Vikings won off of a game-winning field goal. I think this game's going to have very similar results, and I think it's going to end in the same exact way. Give me the Vikings. And our final wild card game, we have the the Buccaneers, who are the 8 and 9, the 4 seed, made it with a losing record, and the Cowboys, who are 12 and 5, they're the 5 seed. This is really a great game. I think this is potentially going to be, I know I said it with all of them, this one, I think both these teams pair up not just great against each other, perfect. Two teams with solid quarterbacks, solid running backs, solid receivers, solid O-line, and pretty solid defense. But I think what it's going to come down to as well, like I said with the Jaguars-Chargers, is coaching. And granted, I think both these coaches suck. But I do think Mike McCarthy is the better coach. So, yeah. Then we move on to the divisional round game. We can see the teams who had to bye, the Eagles and the Chiefs. We're going to do the same format. We're going to start at the top left, then move to top right, bottom left, bottom right. I think this is a very good game for the Chiefs. I don't trust the Jaguars enough against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are really going to dominate, and I'm just going to keep it plain and simple. Give me the Chiefs. Next, we have a game that we should have seen in the Bills-Bengals, but unfortunately injury happened. Prayers for tomorrow, by the way. If you want an update, he is still in the hospital, but he's no longer at Cincinnati. He's now in a hospital in Buffalo. So, at least he's back, with his team. We have, I want to say, the Super Bowl favorites at least the beginning of the season in the Bills versus, the AFC champions in the Bengals, who just barely lost their, Super Bowl. The unique thing here is, as well, out of all 4 AFC teams, the Chiefs are the only one who have won a Super Bowl out of these 4 teams. Very fun facts. So, yeah. I do think the Bills are just slightly better than the Bengals. I think come playoff time, the Bills are going to just be firing on all cylinders, and they're going to get the win. Next, we have the 49ers, Vikings. In my opinion, I hate to say it. I know this could be my biased Packers coming out, or it could just be the Vikings never really do well in the playoffs unless they play the Saints. Or they have Case Keenum as their quarterback and make a magical run. I'm taking the 49ers. I think this is going to be a blowout. And same with this one. I think this game, even though we saw these two teams play earlier in the season, I really think this is going to be a blowout. We have never seen, not this season at least, we have not seen both teams with their starting quarterback at the same time. First time they played, Dak was injured. Second time they played, Jalen Hurts was injured. And I think both will be healthy. And I'm just going to say Philadelphia is going to dominate. Now we move up to the championship rounds, where winners go to the Super Bowl. We have the 1-seeded Chiefs against the 2-seeded Bills. We've seen this matchup 1,000 times. It always is a good one, never disappoints, and I don't think it's going to disappoint. I think we're going to have two teams who are fighting very hard, trying to get it all out. And in my opinion, I think it's going to be the Chiefs who win. I think this is going to be a very good game. I trust Andy Reid more than Sean McDermott. I trust Mahomes, who in my opinion is the MVP, or should be, at least. A lot more than Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's a great quarterback, but I just think Mahomes is better. Even though I think the Bills' roster is better, I think Mahomes is going to do enough to get it done. And our final conference championship map, we have the Eagles and the 49ers. Once again, the 1 and the 2 seed. In fact, I've only had one upset so far with the Cowboys, so yeah. And that's not really an upset because the Cowboys had the better record. But at the same time, if we want to use that logic, the Chargers had a better record than Jaguars. Oh, well. I think the Eagles and 49ers, they are two very defensive teams. I think it's going to come down to offense. And I think the Eagles will just fall short. I do think the Eagles' offense is better, but I think that 49ers defense will really figure it out. And I think the Eagles' defense will really struggle in the beginning with defending the 49ers offense. And I think that's just going to be, the thing. I think, the Eagles are going to figure it out early as well, probably after the first quarter. But I think the 49ers will, hang on. So even if they score 0 points, I think that first quarter will be enough with this, talking. Next, the Super Bowl, a rematch of 50, what are we on? 56, 55, 54. With the Chiefs and the 49ers, the Chiefs won that one 31-20. This time, we have a potential different quarterback in Purdy. I think this game is going to be very close to begin with, but I think come mid-quarter three, we're going to see one team really pull away, and I think that team will be the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Brock Purdy, or whoever's the starting quarterback, will really buckle under pressure. Mahomes, he's been there. He's done 2 of them, won 1 of them, and I think this one's going to be his second one in 3 years. Or 4 years. Fun fact, if my predictions are right as well, every year Mahomes has been a starter. 2017 or whatever year it was, 2018, I want to say it was 2017, where Alex Smith was the starter, Mahomes was the backup. They lost, and I believe the divisional round. Doesn't count since he didn't start. But Mahomes has every year, including this one if it stands up, has led his team to at least a conference championship round. And he's lost by 1 score each time. I want to say it was also in overtime. So that's a cool fact. I have a final score for this one because, it's the Super Bowl. Let's get out of the way. I think the Chiefs win this one 34-22. And I think the Super Bowl MVP is going to be Patrick Mahomes. The way I think this is going to go out, I think, in case you're wondering, that's a weird score. Well, I think the Chiefs are going to be up 28-14 at one point in the game. And then the 49ers are going to score. And you go for 2 in that scenario. Because if you get it, now you have a greater chance because, now you need a touchdown extra point. And if, you don't get it, well, you still have another chance because you're only down 8, which is 1 score. You can just repeat that if you get lucky enough. But then, I don't think they're going to get the opportunity to repeat. I think the Chiefs are going to score. And funny enough, I think they're going to miss the extra point. So that's, how it's going to go down. I think it's going to be tied, 14-14 at one point. Chiefs are going to jump out to 28-14. Going to be back and forth. I think 7. I don't know who, depending on really what happens. I think one team's going to score 7, then the other 7, then 7, tied at 14. We get to 28-14. Chiefs score back-to-back touchdowns. 49ers touchdown, go for 2, get it, and then Chiefs touchdown, miss the extra point. That's it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I did. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my picks. And it's been a fun ride with predictions. I will be posting them on Twitter. Don't worry, it's not technically over. But I'm not going to, just do a video every single time for each round. For Twitter, what it's going to be like is I'm just going to re-pick if I get one wrong. Say, I have Jaguars Chargers. I have the Jaguars winning. Say that's the only game I get wrong. The Chargers actually beat the Jaguars. Everything else is right. That kind of messes up my whole thing. In a way, it might not because, they both still play the Chiefs in that scenario. But I would repost on Twitter saying, I think, in the divisional round, I think blah, blah, blah is going to win. And blah, 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 championship round. I do what I did here just on Twitter. In a tweet, not like a video. But if I get all of them right, I'm just going to say I got all my picks right for the playoffs on to the next round, something like that. But I will see you guys Friday. I am going to take the day off for Thursday. If you don't know, discontinuing the tier list. I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it somewhat in the first year. The second year, I didn't enjoy it. This year is the second year. So we're going to discontinue it. It usually stops after the playoffs anyway, since I literally can just do tier list with, how the predictions go. So, yeah. And what the schedule will look like for uploads, I don't know. This is going to be the final NFL video for a while, technically. There's still going to be Bears franchise on Monday and Friday. We're probably going to integrate it into Wednesday as well to be free a week. You guys will get one more power rankings, but that'll be after the Super Bowl. That's ranking all 32 teams. After the Super Bowl, post-Super Bowl. And then after that, well, I have some ideas. I want to do, like predicting some of the top free agents, where they go, or mock drafts. I've already practiced a mock draft. I've done a first round one and a second round one. Like, I've done a 1 round and a 2 round one. So, yeah. I don't know where I go from here. Besides, figuring out, I do plan on doing XFL content as well. So when the XFL season comes around, we will, talk about that. We'll do power rankings and predictions just like we do for the NFL. Except those videos will be a lot shorter since there's only 8 teams and not 32. Alright, but I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, and hope you enjoyed. And next time you'll see me will be Friday with Bears Franchise.